Every time Donald Trump whines that he's not able to campaign because of the trial, just note that he was off Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday from trial, and how he spent his time golfing, and golfing. Not only that, but posting things like this. Here's a post that Donald Trump made of himself with Jesus holding his shoulders. He reposted it from an account called Lara, I Stand with Trump 47. And it says, I'm praying for this man because he is fighting pure evil. God bless President Trump. Trump is reposting memes of Jesus holding his shoulders. I just want you to think how disgusting and bizarre that is. And other than the MeidasTouch network and maybe a handful of other independent reporters, is anybody reporting that? You think if President Biden posted a photo of himself where instead of Donald Trump, it was President Biden with Jesus holding President Biden's shoulders, you think it would make the front page of New York Times and every other major media network would be talking about it? It's disqualifying, how disgusting, how disturbing. They give Donald Trump a pass. Not only that, they elevate his madness and try to convert it somehow into normalcy. I mean, take a look at what Donald Trump also posted. I don't know how you could get more insane and dangerous than the last post, but how about this one? This is what Donald Trump is spending the weekend doing as well. Reposting not just Stephen Miller, but reposting replies to Stephen Miller, like this person from an account called Ultra MAGA Truther. And when you look at the Ultra MAGA Truther account, hashtag MAGA, hashtag digital soldier, hashtag Q. Yes, the QAnon death cult. Donald Trump is spending the weekend posting memes of himself with Jesus on his shoulders, and he's posting QAnon death cult memes one after another, post. And this is from Ultra MAGA Thinker or Truther, a QAnon follower. Hashtag FJB, the curse word, the F word, Joe Biden. Trump won 2020. Arrest Biden. Arrest Obama, death penalty for pedophiles, hashtag military tribunals for treason. And the post that Trump is amplifying says that Biden stole the election, he let our troops get blown up in Afghanistan and checked his watch during the funeral, he forced us to be part of a science experiment, he locked up and tortured those who questioned the legitimacy of his election. I'm not even going to read it further because it's just filled with lies and it gets more disgusting. But that's what Donald Trump is spending his weekend posting. Where he could be campaigning, that is what he is doing. And again, could you imagine just for one moment if President Biden posted anything like that? And yet you will not hear legacy media saying, hey, by the way, you know, Donald Trump did this and Donald Trump did that. Donald Trump posted this. Scam and sham trials and indictment elections, interfering judges. And then he has a photo of Federal Judge Lewis Kaplan, Justice Arthur Engoron, Justice Juan Merchan. And it says, corruption in New York, scam and sham. And then the post from Stephen Miller says, I don't think people have fully internalized just how wicked the communist Biden is. This is what Donald Trump is spending his weekend doing. Now just think about past elections. Bob Dole v. Bill Clinton, go back to John Kerry versus George W. Bush, go back to Clinton versus George H.W., go back to Ronald Reagan v. Carter, go back to Al Gore v. George W. Bush, go back to Obama v. McCain, go back to Obama v. Romney. Think about that. Here we have Donald Trump now posting memes of a Jesus holding his shoulders, posting QAnon, posting literally curse words, the F word. Like, what are we talking about here? What in the world are we talking about here? And by the way, when Donald Trump's press secretary goes on and does the interviews, and she's asked do you think that he's being vulgar? She's like, no, I think people like that. I think people are into that. Here, play this clip.
Okay, Karen, I've got a complaint. I know the campaign wants to win over Nikki Haley's voters, But I don't think you do that with name calling. For example, I take issue with Trump's new nickname for California governor, calling him New Scum. I don't think that's a good idea. I object to that kind of language. How about you?
Well, I think that what Governor Gavin Newsom has done to the great state, once great state of California, is terrible. You see real scum, real homeless people all over the streets.
Excuse me, are you okay? Are you saying it's okay to bring that kind of language to a presidential campaign? New scum? That's okay?
I think the real problem here, Stu, is the policies of the deranged Democrats from Gavin Newsom to Joe Biden
I think your
that have destroyed American communities across this country.
You don't agree with me, but I think your campaign has a problem with language like that.
Well, I don't think voters respectfully agree with you either, Stu. If you look at the resounding wins that President Trump has received across the board.
You think you're going to win over Haley voters with language like that, do you? You win over moderates and women with language like that? Really?
And then more statements, Donald Trump's reposting saying that he should be locking up President Biden. At the same time, he's arguing for absolute presidential immunity. And then he continues to post like pumping up the DJT stock. So he posts the stock that went up about 9% after he had Devin Nunes, a former Republican Congress member, send a letter to Congress saying that they were going to attack short sellers of the stock. And again, this is my opinion. I don't give stock advice. It's quite literally what the most, and again, just purely an opinion, what one of the most vicious pump and dumpy looking things looks that I've seen. Again, only my opinion. And Donald Trump is reposting the stock price and then posts that then say, pray for this man. He is up against an evil group of people who will do anything to destroy him. And again, the implication, of course, to his cult followers is you need to buy this to help him. You all need to buy this thing if you want to help him. More Donald Trump pumping this over and over and over again. There's over 200 million, I think, outstanding shares. When you break this down, there's $4.1 million in revenue in 2023, 1.2 million in the fourth quarter, 59 million in losses. Just do the math. If you have 200 million outstanding shares and you have $4 million in revenue, how much do you think a single share would be worth? Pennies, if you just did the math, if that pennies. But, again, just my opinion, and just the fundamentals are not there. So take that, though, and compare that to, well, what is President Biden posting at the same time? Here is he posting memes with Jesus on his shoulder? No. President Biden's posting, last night we toasted to a free press, to an informed citizenry, and to an America where freedom and democracy endure. Then President Biden posts, Colin, referring to the host of the White House Correspondents' Dinner, you did a hell of a job hosting this year's White House Correspondents' Dinner. I still think Scarlett has you beat, his wife is Scarlett Johansson, for the funniest in the family, but last night I bet you made her proud. Again, it says a lot about someone who can take a joke, whereas Donald Trump posted that, he said that, oh, well, Colin and everybody bombed. It was the worst White House Correspondents' Dinner ever. The White House Correspondents' Dinner was really bad. Colin just bombed. And Crooked Joe was an absolute disaster. Doesn't get much worse than this. You didn't show up to the White House Correspondents' Dinner because you were too scared to be made fun of. You didn't show up to any of them. You don't know how to tell a joke. You don't know how to take a joke. All you know how to do is scam people, con people, commit crimes, and punch down. That's all you know how to do. Let's take a look also at President Biden's posting. U.S. Steel should remain an iconic American company for years to come. Here's what President Biden posted.
U.S. Steel has been an iconic American company for more than a century, and it should remain a totally American company. American owned, American operated by American union steelworkers, the best in the world. That's going to happen, I promise you. Where I was raised, it ain't labor, it's unions.
President Biden posted, while I walk proudly on union picket lines, Trump bashed unions from a non-union shop. Play the clip.
You know, I've walked proudly on union picket lines, while at the same time, Trump bashed unions from non-union shops. Are you surprised? Look, I want to sign the PRO Act into law.
Yeah! President Biden posted, not a joke. The 2024 election is in full swing, and yes, age is an issue. Play the clip.
Of course, the 2024 election is in full swing. And yes, age is an issue. I'm a grown man running against a 6-year-old. Well, I feel great. I really feel great.
And here President Biden posted about how he sees the economy through the eyes of Scranton and working people. Play the clip.
But if you grew up where we grew up, nobody handed you anything. Being told you were fired wasn't entertainment. It was devastating. It was a nightmare. And folks, we all know people like Trump who look down on us. Don't we? We all know somebody we grew up with like that. Well, folks, where I come from, it matters. When I look at the economy, I don't see it through the eyes of Mar-a-Lago. I see it through the eyes of Scranton and working people like all of you and my family.
So I think you can see the contrast there. Tell me what you think. Leave it in the comments below. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 3 million subscribers together. And thanks for watching and have a good one.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.